Are we up? Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sarpy County Board of Equalization meeting. Today is August 18th, 2026. It is 3 o'clock. Anyone wishing to address the board during open public comments or on a specific agenda item, we ask you to sign in with the clerk sitting to my left in the front here. And if you're interested in the Nebraska Opens Meeting Act, we have a copy available if you so request it. In attendance today, we have all 5 commissioners, our county administrator, our county assessor, our county treasurer, and our county clerk. If you haven't silenced your phones already, which I haven't, please do so, and let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does anybody wish to come forward and address the board? Okay, not seeing anybody come this way. We'll get right into the consent agenda. We have 4 items on there today. And unless any of the commissioners want to see that moved, an item moved to the regular agenda, I'll take a motion to approve as published.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Warren and a second by Commissioner Klug. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion passed.
Okay. I did not see, ma'am. I don't think your item was on the consent agenda. I think it's on the regular agenda.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yeah.
just stand by, okay? Don't leave yet. Okay, item 6.1 on the regular agenda are tax corrections, 17,998 to 18,000. Dan Pittman, any questions for Dan on these? Motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Mixon, second by Commissioner Burmeister. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion passed.
Okay, the last item is 6.2, homestead exemption rejection, Form 458R, Rachel Bone for Lot 640, La Vista replat, parcel 0105588063. Protest, Rachel Bone is the applicant. Annie, from the County Attorney's Office.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. The Assessor's Office has reached out to Ms. Bone. They've provided her with the documentation necessary that she'll need to have her physician fill out for the extension for the homestead exemption application. So if we could table this 2 weeks, please.
2 weeks, okay.
Motion to table for 2 weeks. Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Warren, a second by Commissioner Mixon. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion passed.
So before we adjourn, Annie, could you come forward? Was her item on the agenda? She-
Yes, it was one of the homestead
Was it- was
exemptions
it on
that
the
was
consent?
on consent. Mhm.
Oh, well, then I misspoke. Congratulations, ma'am. Okay, all items having been addressed as published, the Board of Equalization is adjourned. Okay, welcome to the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is August 18th, 2026. It's 3:05 p.m. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meeting Act is available upon request, and if you wish to address the board either during the open comment period at the beginning here or on any specific agenda item, check in with our county clerk. All 5 commissioners are present, along with our administrator and our county clerk. Commissioners' comments.
No comments, thank you.
None, thank you.
No comment. No.
None? Okay. Nothing, Bonnie?
No comment, thank you.
Okay, great. Does anybody want to come forward and address the board before I get rolling here? Okay, then we'll get right into the consent agenda. We have 8 items on the consent agenda today. Unless any of the commissioners want to see one of those items discussed on the regular agenda, I'll take a motion to approve as published.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Warren, a second by Commissioner Klug. Any comments? Please vote.
Motion passed.
Okay, on the planning and zoning agenda, we have 2 items. I'll read them both in the record. We'll have 1 public hearing and 2 separate votes. Item 6.1 is a hearing on Resolution 232, which is rezoning from AG Agricultural Farming District to RE2 Residential Estates 2 District for a subdivision to be known as Lot 1, Reha Lake Homestead, generally located northwest of 111th Street and Buffalo Road. The applicant is Linda Schulting, and the briefer will be Robert LaRocco, our planning director. Item 6.2 is on the same parcel and property, and it's the preliminary plat. Robert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, commissioners. Right, so before you this afternoon is a rezoning and preliminary plat for Reha Lake Homestead, located northwest 111th and Buffalo Road, consisting of 77.62 acres, developed with an existing single-family residence on the site today, with a number of outbuildings. And Reha Lake comprises the majority of the parcel. Take a look here, zoom in for you a little bit. On the vicinity map, you can see the area that we're specifically platting today is this area here. The majority of the site is Reha Lake. The applicant is proposing the creation of a single 3.721 acre lot that comprises the existing residence and the field south and east of the house. There are no new or expanded structures being proposed as part of this request. Based on the size of the lot, the applicant is proposing to rezone the new lot from AG Agricultural Farming District to RE2 Residential Estates 2 District. I should note here that the balance of the parcel that comprises Reha Lake would remain as is and unplatted, is not included within the boundary of this plat. Get you a look at the plat. Proposed lot lines here. As I noted, 1 lot comprising the existing residence. The outbuildings would remain on the outlot, which would be allowed. This request was initially recommended for approval by the Planning Commission at their September 16th, 2025 meeting. As a part of that approval, the entire property, we should note, was located within an entire environmentally sensitive area. The subdivision would typically need to designate at least 40% of the total site in a protected outlot. And the Planning Commission's recommendation included a condition to create that outlot prior to bringing that forward to the commission, or the board, excuse me. The applicant has since submitted an evaluation signed and sealed by a registered professional engineer that notes that the land that's located within the boundary of the plat isn't actually or does not meet the conditions or requirements for an environmentally sensitive area that are outlined in the comprehensive plan. So taking a look at that evaluation, the department felt that that was accurate and represented. As you can see, the vast majority of the area that's being platted is located within row crop, or it's in row crop today. Typically wouldn't be considered environmentally sensitive. So the department is comfortable with that evaluation and agrees that the land does not meet the conditions that are identified in the comprehensive plan. So we've revised our recommendation to remove that condition of approval for you today. With regards to the rezoning, the RE2 district is the appropriate zoning district for the residential estates land use designation. Should note just a couple things of note here. The property is located within a floodplain, so any future development that they should go after it would need to be in compliance with floodplain development regulations, including elevation of the structure, and would comply with all other Sarpy County floodplain regulations. Given that Staff is recommending the approval of the rezoning from AG to RE2 district, along with approval of the preliminary plat of Rio Lake Homestead, subject to the conditions noted in the recommendation report. Staff is available for questions at this time.
So this, I'm sorry, Robert, this didn't go back to the Planning Commission on the environmentally sensitive issue?
It did not. We felt that the condition of approval, they needed to demonstrate that it was environmentally sensitive, and since they were able to demonstrate that it wasn't, we're comfortable with allowing the plat to go forward without that condition of approval.
Thank you.
So essentially, we're just taking one farm site and dividing it into two separate lots so we can build a second structure, second home?
I think the purposes of the plat were just for transfer. So the lot one that's being approved here, that's presented here for you today, would remain as is the structure. The balance of the parcel would remain unplatted and would just comprise the lake and the outlot, or the outbuildings, excuse me.
Okay,
But I'm not aware of any new structure that's being proposed.
okay. But this would allow a second structure, right?
On the outlot, no, I think in order for them to gain building rights for a new residential use on that outlot, they would need to plat that as well.
So that lot one's an outlot?
This lot here, lot one, is a regular residentially zoned
Okay.
lot. The balance of
That
this,
encompasses the existing home right now, right?
that's correct.
I gotcha, okay. Is the applicant here? Could you state your name for the record, please?
Randy Kushak with Lamper Nearson, 14710 West Dodge Road, Omaha, Nebraska. I'm with Lamper Nearson, civil engineer, on behalf of the applicant. The applicant wasn't able to be here today, but if I might add, just related to the reasoning for this plat, the applicant is basically setting up for estate planning. There are some family that live in that house currently, and as that property would move into a trust, they're just trying to plan that ahead so that there won't be hiccups with how that property transfer would happen in the future and make that messy through any sort of inheritance process. So the intent is simply to pull that house out of the larger area of the lot to make that transfer easier in the future.
Okay. Great, thank you. Any questions? Okay, did anybody else want to address the board on this? Okay, then I'll close the public hearings and we'll take a motion on the first item, which is the rezoning.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Klug. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion passed.
Okay, on the preliminary plat,
Motion to approve.
Second.
motion by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Burmeister. Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion passed.
Okay, two items on the regular agenda. The first item is a public hearing and resolution 224, Sarpy County 1 and 6 year road program for 2027 through 2032. Scott Bovick, Deputy Chief Administrative Officer, and probably Zach Hergenrader, County Engineer. Scott?
Thank you, Commissioners. As you know, each year the county is required to hold a public hearing on the 1 and 6 year road program and then adopt the 1 and 6 year road program the week before the budget hearing, which is next week for you. So this year we're here to talk through this, hold a public hearing, answer any questions you have, and then have the budget next week. And so if you remember back in spring of 2024, the county board held a retreat and we talked about what we called the next wave of construction of road projects. At that time, the board started talking about key projects, also talking about building towards a bond issue in middle of 2026 to help finance the construction of those projects. And so 2 years later, here we are, exciting time. I know already know about the bond issue and the great rate that we got on that, and we can answer questions as we go through. So this 1 in 6 year road program is $325 million. It's over the next 6 years. It's funded from ongoing existing revenue sources along with the $200 million bond issue, which the proceeds of that will be delivered in the beginning of September. At the March 2024 retreat, the board directed staff to change our debt limit policy to authorize debt service, annual debt service up to 100% of highway allocation. We meet that with this bond issuance. And then I would just remind the board of two things. Any state and federal funds that we obtain, that we should be aggressive in trying to obtain, will either offset or supplement this program. And then the last thing is, as we're walking through these key projects, you'll see that the next 24 months are very intense on construction. About $200 million of the $325 million is construction outlay in the next 24 months. Here's a list of the key projects. We'll walk through each of them briefly. Obviously, signature project that's under construction right now, the South Sarpy Expressway. $82 million is allocated to the expressway. That includes construction, engineering of the current stretch of the project. Then we also have money set aside for ongoing planning, design of future segments of the corridor. We also think it's important to have money allocated for interim improvements as those come up along the entire existing Platteview Road corridor. Another emerging project, the interchange project. Getting a new interchange is probably once in a 20 to 30 year kind of thing. We're benefiting from that. This project the interchange is underway. Our responsibility was to get paved roads to that. So if you look at the map, those orange segments called out will actually attach that interchange to other existing pavement in that part of the county. Gretna's a partner on this in terms of funding. We expect the majority of that to be completed in spring of 2028, 24 months away.
Can I ask a question about
Sure.
that? So how long we'll use arterial street improvement program funding to pay for some of that, or and how many years do we collect that?
We collect arterial street improvement program funding, ASIP fees, in areas that are our planning jurisdiction. So that is a part of our funding, but it's a small part. What is a larger part of the funding for this is direct contributions from development as they come in. And so if you look at a total spend of $38 million, I estimate that the county's net cost, once all those developments happen and contribute, that our net cost will be about $15 million.
Okay.
So we're really pioneering these roads out in that part of the county.
And that's as long as it stays in an extraterritorial zoning jurisdiction and non-annexation, correct?
In our ETJ, in our jurisdiction, not in the city's ETJ, but a lot of this area is in the city's ETJ. So the ASIP fees that we collect across the county is very minimal because we have limited jurisdiction.
Okay.
And I'd want to show you a map to kind of talk through
right.
that a little
Yeah,
bit.
sure.
But in our jurisdiction, we do collect those ASIP fees. And I will say, we've had partnerships with the city of Papillion, city of Gretna, city of Springfield, when they've had unique developments come in that they have shared that ASIP revenue, their ASIP revenue with the county, and that helps too, partnerships.
Thank you.
And this is actually a great example of that. So some of these roads in this area that's in the area being developed with the first phase of the sewer agencies area, the city of Springfield, the fees, ASIP fees they collected from the Facebook developments, they collected them, they remitted those to the county to help pay for some of this road network. Papillion and Gretna also have portions of this, again, $38 million, and we expect this to be completed by summer of 2028. Package 1 under construction, Package 2 started construction this summer, and Package 3 should be out to bid this fall to be constructed over the next 24 months. Another key project for the Sarpy County and some of our partners is the 168th Street corridor, Highway 370 to Harrison Street. Zach and Shane Swope with our consultant talked to you a few weeks ago about this. MAPA has allocated $27 million towards this project. We've also received a determination from Nebraska Department of Transportation that this can be a categorical exclusion from the environmental standpoint. That's the lowest level. So that's really two things to jumpstart this project. Also, Omaha, the city of Omaha has received money from MAPA to look at the design of the Harrison Street corridor. So we're working with them, the city of Omaha, Douglas County, MAPA, to make sure that we have money allocated for 168th Street and Harrison Street going forward, two key corridors.
So if you get federal funding, then you got to go through the NEPA process, is that right?
We do have to go through the NEPA process, and an environmental impact statement is the highest threshold. Then there's an environmental assessment, and then there's a categorical exclusion, which essentially means they don't feel like there's any real environmental threats. And so that is a benefit of the state.
So it
Now-
still costs money though, right? You still need an engineering firm to come out and
Yep,
validate that? Or?
It still costs money, and that's just part of being compliant with federal funds. But now that NDOT is the final arbiter of what the environmental issues are, we think it'll cost us less and go quicker because there'll be less environmental
So
issues.
sort of related but unrelated. On 132nd Platteview Road, we're going through the NEPA process now. Is that for environmental or
Yep. Yeah, and I
same
believe
deal?
that's a
So we can get federal money or no?
that is federally funded
Okay.
through the Congressional Community Funding Act, but it does follow federal regulations. Olson is the engineer on that, and they're doing the environmental
right.
review.
I saw that.
Again, categorical exclusion is the easiest to obtain, and that's why when we're thinking about going for federal funding, sometimes it's best to go to those areas where you have the least amount of potential environmental impact.
Sure. Thank you.
Northwest Sarpy Road Network, which includes Harrison Street that we're working on. This is that rural area, but it's growing. The Gretna High School site is there. Working through all those projects. The last project will be bid this fall, 225th Street, and that should be completed by the end of 2028. And then we think it's important to make sure that the 1 in 6 year road program includes money for maintenance and also contingencies, especially when we have such a large amount of capital that we're going to be spending. And so we do allocate $1.5 million a year for bridge program, concrete $500,000 for panel repair, asphalt overlay. Arterial streets, as you know, when developments come up, you don't always expect them. We need to have some money set aside so we can partner with them when those emerge. And then we are carrying a $3 million a year construction contingency. Should bids come in high or project emergency come up, we have some money in there to utilize. And then I do think it's important to recognize the team. It takes a team to really deliver $325 million worth of road projects. And so Zach and his team here, they do a great job, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of out on site, working with contractors, working with engineering firms. And then the other team that helps the rest of the folks, GIS. One of the great things about this program, if you remember years ago, we actually had a consultant help us build this document. And then over time, the GIS department, Eric Kreiner, was able to bring that in-house. So no cost to us, and Eric has a database. We just plug the numbers in and it develops the document. So very, very streamlined there. And then obviously, government partners who we need to continue to work with over the coming years on funding, partnerships, and then private partners. We really have a good relationship with the development community, engineering firms, construction firms, so things really come together for us to be able to deliver all these projects for you. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions. It is a public hearing.
Just a couple comments.
Okay.
When I was looking through it was like 30 projects or so.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad to see that we're taking a look at Giles Road. I think that's in Commissioner Klug's area, but I travel it. And the other day, I was coming from 132nd, which we're also redoing that with 2 roundabouts. So that's really good because that's a real mousetrap in there. And I got across Highway 50, 144th Street, and the traffic was blocked all the way to the next 156th Street. You know, it was rush hour traffic, but that road is way underdeveloped. It needs to be expanded into an arterial. And so it looks like we're going to do a study. Is that what I saw?
I think we have $250,000 in this year's budget to look at the Giles corridor from Highway 50 to Highway 631. There's some development, as you know, that's occurred on there. Obviously, when we finish the Connect Sarpy project, it's a changing corridor. So we think it's important to get eyes on that and figure out pedestrian improvements, signalization, and then, you know, any expansion efforts that we need. So that is in there. And once we approve this, we'll start the process of getting an engineering firm on board to study that. And then, yes, 132nd and Giles, you know, we're building a lot of new and replacing a lot of bridges, but we also have to look at capacity of existing areas. And 132nd and Giles is an area that we need to get some, you know, get a expansion done on.
And then swinging to the east a little bit, it wasn't in the 1 and 6, but at some point I think we've done a really good job of protecting the north-south arterials and getting out in front of things out in western part of the county and Jim's area out there with the growth and the new school and all that stuff going out there. So that's good, but I don't know if there's a path forward, but we got to try to find a way to correct the sins of the past. If you come down 60th Street, which is a major arterial in Douglas County, and you get to Harrison Street, the road disappears until you get to 370. And we've got to find a way, so what happens as a result of that? All these people that are compressed in the Papillion and western Bellevue area have no choice but to go east and west to go north. And that's just not good for traffic flow. It's not good for, commutes. So I think we need to take a look at trying to find a way to extend Giles Road east and west out of La Vista to connect to Bellevue, and north and south, figure out a corridor. It's going to be hard now because there's developments in there. You can't move the developments, but something I would think that kind of runs parallel to the Papio Creek till you get down to Cornhusker, and then maybe can tie back in somehow. I don't know what it looks like, but we need to look at it at least, because it's long past due. I know Commissioner Mixon and I talk about it all the time. How did we ever let this happen, you know?
It was a past county board that let it happen. I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but I mean, way in the past, because it's so critical to look at our roads and then protect that right of way. Giles could have easily could have been protected, but they let the developer crisscross it with houses on the furthest part of it down on the west part. Mm-hmm. And it just took the right of way away. And that, because I'll come up to Bryan High School and I can look west and I can see Giles Road on the other side. And it's very frustrating because, yes, you're either going north to Harrison or you're going south down to Cornhusker to get any farther west. And I'm glad you bring that up also, Don, the point of 60th Street, and then obviously we have 66 there, but we also have where we need to kind of get 66 punched through. Either that or we come around from the other side and do something. But I think those are very smart and strategic plans. So
Yep.
And then
Something we can look at.
Just one last question. It's kind of financial related. So we're bonding 200 and some million.
Yep.
How much wiggle room do we have if we wanted to accept more risk and bond more roads?
Well, one of the reasons why we've retained our AAA bond rating and got the best rate was, as part of that process, working with Moody's, they did ask us if we have any plans for future bonding, not just roads, but other things. We told them not for 2 or 3 years. And so that, I think, was a factor in making them comfortable with us retaining that retaining that rating. We're always going to continue to look at where the other sources of funding we can go to. I think there's money out there from other funding sources that we need to go be aggressive in obtaining those and build that package for what we'll call the next wave, you know, the 2028, 2029 wave. But, you know, we would have to talk offline about, you know, how do we access more bonding? I think at this point, we've got this bond issue, $200 million. We have 3 years to spend it. We're going to spend it. So we need to talk about what happens in year 4 or 5 and how do we amass the, you know, the pot of funds out there to do the next wave of projects.
Yeah, I mean, with 200 million in bonding, we're obviously not risk adverse, but I think we got to look for ways to be even more aggressive, because all you have to do is look at the landscape and what's going on out around Gretna, and the whole county's about ready to blow up. Now that we've got sewers in most places, this area, east of Highway 50 all the way to Bellevue to 75 it's gonna grow. It's gonna bring in more and more of broaden the tax base. So if there's ways that we can get out in front of it and not have to wait until it's assured, I think the risk is it's calculated. But
and I would say too, part of the Moody's rating was a commitment not to go get more bonds in the next 24 months, but they also told us you're in a healthier financial position than you were the last time you got bonds 4 years ago. And that's because they see and they understand how when we pioneer a road, and maybe the interchange roads are a good example, when we pioneer 40 million of roads, but then all of this area is going to develop and directly contribute to our project, that our net cost is 15 million. It just makes really good financial sense. And when we talked to them the first time we did our first bond rating, we talked about the Connect Sarpy project, and we actually drew an area and said this area is worth $2 billion today. And so we were able to go back to them and do that snapshot in 2026 dollars and go, now it's $4 billion. And so they're speaking that language with us, but I think challenge the board and challenge us to go find partners that can bring money to the table. And then when we need to go get the next bond issue, maybe that's matching money because we've been able to bring in $50 or $100 million from other sources. So, but we'll keep working on that and talking about it. And
well, I appreciate it. Before we ask the public to come forward, did you want to add anything, Zach, from the county engineer's office?
Nope, I don't think so. We have a lot of good projects on there. We're looking forward to getting started.
Okay.
Scott, regarding all the partnerships, and then obviously when we have developers contributing back, do you have an estimate? I mean, you had a few of them where you said, okay, it's 38 million, but it might be our net is 15. Okay, so all the money that we have in the bond issue and everything, when we start getting that money back, do you have an estimate for all that's out there of how much potential could be coming back? And then when that money comes back, does it come back into this program?
I don't have an actual number, but when Dan Talakis and I generate our cash flow for the next 20 years, we do have estimates for how much we expect to get each year. I could look at that and tell you. As a general rule, I'd say if we're spending $325 million, a conservative estimate would be a third. So 100 million or so is going to be direct financial contributions from the development. And then, yes, it goes back into this pot of money to use for projects or pay for debt or, you know, just have cash in there for pay-as-you-go projects.
Because what I'm seeing is what you're showing the total expend, but that's not the net.
You're not seeing the revenue side, right? And that revenue, direct contributions from development is a very important part of that, maybe 8 to 10 million a year. And then the highway allocation is the other important part that's about, 18 to 20 million a year.
Those would be good numbers to get.
Okay, we can show that
what's
to you.
coming back.
Yeah, and we budget those direct contributions from developments conservatively because we don't know when a property is going to develop or not, but it's definitely an important part of our financing.
Yeah, I'd rather keep the conservative number. I don't want to get some.
I've beat it every year. We've gotten more out of our.
So is anyone from from the county planning to attend the Gross Sarpies Economic Development Conference coming up in October?
Yes, I think I'm manning a round table.
Yep, we've got plans for that, so that we have representation. People can speak to planning and roads issues.
Yeah, it might be good if the board maybe could get an invite to that, and at least one or two of us could go, because I think it would be pretty good to mix it up with the developers and see what they're thinking.
Yep.
Okay,
Good.
thanks, Scott. Is public hearing, anybody want to address the board on this plan, 1 and 6? No? Okay, then I'll close the public hearing, and we'll take action on it next week. Right?
Today.
Okay. All right, last item on the board is a resolution.
Vote on it today.
Oh, we do it today?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were doing it next week. Today's the hearing and the vote.
Second.
Okay, who was the motion? Dave? Motion by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Burmeister. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion passed.
Okay, the last item is Resolution 222, establishing the E911 surcharge for the 2027 calendar year in the amount of $1 per month per telephone number. Commencing January 1st, 2027. Dan Talakis, Chief Financial Officer.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. As you just read into the record, this establishes the surcharge for calendar year 2027 in the amount of $1 per month per telephone number. This is the maximum amount that's allowable by statute, and it is consistent. The dollar per month per telephone number is consistent with the surcharge in prior years as well. And this is action that the board takes annually by September 1st to set this every year. So happy to answer any questions that you might have for me.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Klug. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion passed.
Okay, we have no need for an executive session, and all agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Commissioners is adjourned. Thank you for coming.